Hey everybody, welcome to the Pricing Masterclass. So this Masterclass will talk you through how to make more money from just tweaking your prices. Not necessarily as simple as just put your prices up, but hopefully you will glean some insights on this as to how you can be a bit more clever, a bit more smart with your pricing. So the first thing I would say regarding pricing is that small is beautiful when it comes to business, and particularly with regards to your profit margins. I'm not suggesting you want small profit margins.
Small prices?
No, not small prices, but small businesses. So if you are, let's say you're Virgin Atlantic, your gross profit margin on a flight is about 5%. Mm-hmm. Aeroplanes and jet fuel and staff and airports is quite expensive. So if you're Tesco, your growth margins are about 2%. Amazon, world's largest retailer, 1.7%. So all these big companies, and those are huge companies, they need massive turnover, huge turnover to make fairly big profits. Mm-hmm. Small companies don't. So take our sports betting company. Our gross profit for that is 74%. So what that means is our company is 44 times more profitable than Amazon.
Brilliant. That sounds bad, doesn't it?
So if we just don't increase turnover to Amazon levels, we'd be sorted. But the key thing here is, because we're small, to provide the lifestyle that we want, we only need a couple of 100,000 in turnover. Jeff Bezos, to provide the lifestyle he wants and his ex-wife wants, he needs to turn over billions just to make a few measly 100 million.
Yeah. Makes sense. Small is beautiful.
So,
I'm with you.
Do you remember when coffee used to be 50p?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
That was the price of coffee. You went out to a cafe, anywhere, cup of coffee, 50p.
Yeah.
And it was served up in a polystyrene cup. Mm-hmm. It was coffee. Coffee was coffee. There was no frappuccino, super latte, mocha, grande. You wanted options. They had options. Do you want it milk and sugar? Milk and sugar.
Yeah, who would have thought it? I mean, you turn in the grave thinking paying more than 50p, even a pound. I mean, I know I really like the
maybe a bone china
thing. It's kind of like people go, a pound for a coffee with a PTA kind of thing. It's like, really? I think yes. When you pop down, like you're about to say now, the nearest Starbucks, the nearest Costa, and you're paying £3, £4, £5 a cup.
Well, exactly. That's how much is a coffee now. You go to Starbucks, and if you have a takeaway Venti limited edition with almond milk, caramel syrup, whipped cream, and a dusting of cocoa on top, that's like £4.80 now. Ooh. 5 or 10, nearly 10 times as much as a cup of coffee was.
That's 16 pints of Thatcher's, do you think? Would that be okay? That's slightly less than £4.80.
Not in Starbucks, I believe. They won't actually serve you that in Starbucks. But, I mean, why would people pay more? Why do people pay more? Why would people pay £4.80 for a cup of coffee rather than 50p for a cup of coffee?
Is that a question? No, that's not a question.
I think one of the big things is that people pay what they think they should be paying. So an example of this could be handbags, for example. You could have a 20 quid handbag. Mm-hmm. You could have a £20,000 handbag. They're both handbags. They're both functional. They both do the job. You could have a 50 quid watch, or you could have a £50,000 watch, and the person who buys £50,000 watches wouldn't be seen dead with a £50 watch on their wrist, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. The guy who buys 50 quid watches, where's the logic? It doesn't make sense, because they're not the sort of person that spends that much on a product. And every single person, when it comes to pricing, spends what they think is appropriate for them and fits them and their personality.
And I guess that's what makes them comfortable with paying it as well then.
Absolutely.
Because if they think they should be paying it, then actually, well, in my head, I've now decided that is my price. That is fine.
It's congruent with what you tell yourself. The story you tell yourself is, I'm a wealthy person, therefore I drive around in a £100,000 car. Doesn't matter what the car is, it just needs to cost £100,000. I go on holiday to this all-inclusive resort because that's congruent with the story of myself. Or vice versa, I drive around in a beat-up 20-year-old car because that's the kind of person I am. And there's nothing right or wrong with either of those scenarios. Warren Buffett still drives around in his beat-up old 1974 Lincoln, still lives in the house he bought in 1957, because that is congruent with the person he is. He's also the person that will go out and pay $700 million for a company because he feels that that's, he pays what he feels he should be paying, right? He always says he'd rather buy a great company at a fair price than a fair company at a great price. So, who fills up with petrol at the motorway services?
Crazy people?
Crazy people. Or
those without sat-nav?
Those that aren't paying for it themselves.
Okay.
So, company car drivers. Yes, it's 10p a litre more expensive. Don't give a shit, the boss is paying for it. There you go, here's my card. It's convenient, isn't it? And it's someone else's money. And people are always looser with the purse strings when it's someone else's money. I've got to spend the budget this year, because if I don't spend the budget, we don't get as much money next year. So I just spend the money. I don't care what the price is. I don't care what I get for my money. Just take my money. Socialists, that's another people that like to spend other people's money. Eventually you do run out of it, though.
I like how you put thieves and politicians in the same sentence. Very good.
Yeah, technically the same person, let's dispel a myth about pricing here. I don't care what your costs are. Okay? How much does it cost Starbucks to create a £4.80 coffee? Probably
17p.
It's probably a few pence more than a 50p coffee. A 50p coffee is a spoon of Nescafé, polystyrene cup, bit of hot water, person to pour it. Starbucks is, all right, beans sourced from Kenya, whatever. They buy it in bulk, so they get it done there. It's a person pouring hot water on it, maybe frothing up a bit of milk, styling their hair in a bloody man bun or whatever, or some facial hair so they look like a barista. But it's reframing all this, but the costs have got nothing to do with it. Are you okay there?
Oh dear, I'm glad it's into a private area.
This is where most people go wrong, is they go, right, what are my costs? It costs me 50 quid to make it, therefore I'm going to sell it for 100. And they just do it, right, it costs me this, therefore I'm going to sell it for a bit of a markup. That £50,000 watch doesn't cost 1,000 times as much to make as the 50 quid watch does. The margins are so much higher. It's going to cost more, but not pro rata. It's not. It's actually, majority of that is markup. What really matters, and the reason that people will pay more, is they'll pay more to get some time back. They'll get more. They want the prestige of that £50,000 watch. They want quality. They want to know it's not going to break. They want the convenience of, I haven't got to drive 3 miles off the motorway, turn my sat-nav on to find a Tesco or a Sainsbury that I can fill up with petrol and get back on. Actually, it's going to cost me 10p a litre more. It's going to cost me an extra 4 quid, but I'm going to save 25 minutes of my journey. I'm going to get to that meeting on time, and someone else is paying.
Experience, I guess, as well, isn't it? It's been paying for the experience. The extra bit is actually going to a Costa or a pub. He pays £20 for a bottle of wine when it's £3 in the supermarket, £3.50 in the supermarket. It's actually you're paying for that experience and things that kind of go with that.
It always amazed me, and I used to have this discussion with a member of my family who I'm married to.
We won't narrow it down too much.
Won't narrow it down. So that's pretty vague. No one will know who I'm talking about. But this particular person would buy a cheap loaf of bread. I'm not paying £1.50, £1.80 for a loaf of bread. And then they'd go to the local supermarket and they'd pay £3.50 for a sandwich. Or coffee is another example. They'd buy crap coffee because it's £1 cheaper than the other jar, or £1.50 cheaper than the other jar, and then go and spend £4.80 on a Starbucks. Like, hang on, there's 100 cups of coffee in that jar, and you're not willing to pay an extra 1 pence per cup for really good coffee. The costs of how much it costs to make do not matter. It's completely irrelevant to your customers. None of your customers, the guy buying a £50,000 watch and the guy buying a £50 watch, they don't sit there and go, well, how much does it cost to make? And is that a fair marker? No, they just think, is that buying experience congruent with my expectations? And this leads us on to one of my bugbears. So I was driving up the M5 last week, and I was behind this van. I wish I'd obviously pulled over and taken a photo of it. I was going to say just take a photo, but no, I didn't. I was driving, of course not. But it was something like it was an activities company. They do some kind of like physical exercise, possibly for children, possibly for adults. But their entire brand was around being like active value, and it was just their entire branding. Their business model was, we're the cheapest. And that's just awful, because look at this. Who's the, this is an actual Google search that I did for the word cheapest. And what does Google suggest? Flights, car insurance, broadband, train tickets.
They all like cheap flights.
Travel insurance, cigarettes, supermarkets, sim only. These are all commodities. These are all things that pretty much I don't give a toss who you are or what the quality's like. I just want the cheapest. And if you are the driver of that van who is the cheapest, I saw one the other day, cheapest carpet fitter in whatever, there's still a sign up actually. Every time I do the school one, there's a sign up saying cheapest Christmas trees in Plymouth. Nice. We are recording this at the end of March, 3 months after Christmas.
They are the cheapest now, though.
That's because they can't afford to go and take the signs down. They're still the cheapest there. That's actually, that's going to be one of the cheapest Christmas trees in Plymouth. They're £150, but no one else is selling them. We're the cheapest. But that business model only works until someone else comes along and says, no, you're not. I'm the cheapest now.
I'll undercut you.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'll reduce my margin further than you're willing to. And it's just, we've all heard the thing, race to the bottom. That is exactly that, because if you are the cheapest, and that is the only marketing tool you've got, is I'm the cheapest, you're going to attract cheap customers who have zero loyalty to you. They are price shoppers. Everyone that searches for cheapest flights, cheapest car insurance, cheapest supermarket, whatever, those are people who have zero loyalty, and they will drop you in a heartbeat if they think they could save £2.50. I don't care whether the flight is with BA, Ryanair, EasyJet, or an old man on a bicycle who thinks he can give it a go because he's stuck some wings on. I don't care. I just want cheap flights. You compare that with the guy who wants to be in first class, who wants the luxury experience. Mm-hmm. And look at the different searches here. So luxury, escapes, hotels, weekend breaks, gift boxes, holidays, vinyl flooring. Who knew? Spa breaks, family hotels, car hire. So these are people who, if you're looking for luxury car hire as opposed to cheapest car hire, guess what? Price doesn't matter, because you want good quality. And this is one of the big things with premium products, is you get premium customers. These people who are looking for a luxury hotel or a luxury spa, they don't want any old spa break. They want a luxury spa break. Or I want a luxury family hotels where the other plebs aren't. A bit like Sandals, but for kids, Or luxury vinyl flooring that's somehow better than other. Vinyl flooring, you wouldn't think that there was such a thing as luxury vinyl flooring. That's an oxymoron, isn't it?
You'd think. You would think.
But these guys are not price sensitive. So if I search for luxury hotels and I find this hotel and it's amazing, I'm going to stay with them again. Mm-hmm. And if the Holiday Inn email me and say, but John, we've got a hotel in that town, the same date you want to go there, and we're 50 quid cheaper, I'm going to go, yeah, that's great, but I want that luxury hotel, because price doesn't matter to me, because I'm not price sensitive.
And are we going to build in the margin in a bit, are we? Just think, because actually the reason why the luxury and the margins are that much higher, say, you've also got to think about the customers that you're going to be attracting with the luxury markets. They're going to have higher expectations, and you need to meet them. So the only way you can do that is having that wider margin and to be able to service those customers. Because if you don't, you see, that can hit the bottom quite quickly.
Oh, you do, and it is otherwise. It is that complete race to the bottom. With the luxury, the premium customers, you've got people that are more loyal. They're more likely to refer, and they're more likely to become a brand ambassador. So, as someone just alluded to, having more margin means that you can spend more providing your customers with that first-class experience. You can spend more getting the customer in the first place. You can absolutely outspend your competition. You can afford to spend more than them, therefore capturing more of the market. But crucially, you can also spend more keeping those customers. The easiest way to do that is to create experiences. What better experience is there than the Plymouth Pavilions?
What better experience is there?
I'm waiting for an answer.
It's good.
So this is an example of someone delivering a first-class experience. So we are, what do they call it, preferential members or gold members or something like that. We are some kind of VIP membership at the local. It does look like a leisure centre. There is a swimming pool behind there, but it's actually, they do gigs here, gigs and conferences, basketball games, and is there still an ice rink there?
There's an ice rink still
there. But we're there primarily for the concerts, the gigs. So we pay so much per year, and for that we get pre-sale tickets on all gigs. So every time there is a sold-out show at the Plymouth Pavilions, we don't need to worry about joining the scrum for tickets at 9 a.m. on a Friday morning, because we already got our tickets for free, included with our package 2 days ago.
Usually the best tickets to
front row seats for Michael McIntyre, yeah, didn't we? You know, best seats in the house for Elaine Colliar or the Prodigy. But also when we get there, now a few years ago I was at the Manchester Arena just before, like 2 months before the terrorist attack there. And ever since that happened, every gig we've been to has now led to massive queues to get into the venue, because you now have to have full body searches. You know, everyone needs to have their bags searched. There's now massive queues to get into any gig. If you've been to a gig at Manchester Arena since, it is phenomenal to see the system in progress. It's actually, they deal with the queues very, very well. We've got metal detectors, dog sniffers, you go through so many cordons. It's amazing to see how they've reacted to that. So Plymouth Pavilions, what they do is you just join a massive queue, and that queue snakes around the entire building. Unless, of course, you are a VIP gold member with the Plymouth Pavilions, which we are, in which case you walk past all the people in the queue going, later losers, see you later, VIP coming through.
Not quite like that, but yeah.
Well, it did happen a bit like that. So we went to see Dara O'Brien a couple of weeks back, and there was massive queue, and we got there quite late, so it was like 10 minutes before he's due to be on stage. Massive queue outside. Excuse me, mate, preferential queue to the front. Yeah, just go through the front, mate. Yeah, go through. Excuse me, sorry, coming through, excuse me, VIP coming through. And it's also, oh, who are you? So we're preferential members. Oh, do you know Dara personally? It's like, no, we just pay more than you guys, that's all. But actually, when you break it down, again, looking at the cost of things, we're not paying much more. What we are doing is prepaying for so many tickets a year. Oh, we get a private bar as well, don't we? Mm-hmm. So again, you go into the main Pavilions bar and there's a 30-minute wait for a drink. Or you can go into your private bar where there's normally one other person in there. Just get a drink. You can wander out at half time, get a drink. Happy days.
Thinking just of that example, apart from the private bar, there's absolutely no cost to the Plymouth Pavilions. on us as private preferential customers.
Because they're selling us
a quick queue is fine.
Yep.
The tickets are the ticket price anyway.
Yep.
And so apart from a person behind the bar in the private bar area, there's absolutely no cost to the business. It's just added value, and we pay
I think
a lot more.
It's the opposite of that. And I will come to that in a minute. I think it's not just that there's no cost. I think they make more money as a result, and I'll come to that.
Because we don't have to queue an hour for a drink.
You get a drink.
We get two free
Which leads us perfectly to Plymouth Argyle. So this is the Pioneers, which is Plymouth Argyle's brand new hospitality package. And we talked about this in one of our recent coaching calls, didn't we? They've basically got 3 new tiers to their hospitality. Basically, the club are refurbishing their grandstand. Officially, it's a refurb, but they've pretty much knocked it all down, taken it back to steel, and they are rebuilding it as a hospitality and banqueting facility. Mm-hmm. Now, the Pioneers is something they've never done before. So we have, the last couple of seasons, been the VIPs at Plymouth Argyle, which basically means we get served up some chicken in a mushroom sauce normally. We get a programme. We get to sit in the dilapidated old stand, and after the match, we get to meet the man of the match. He goes, and the day, it's been 2 hours. Boys done well, worked hard, it's good result, really. Thank you for that. Right, come on, let's read. It's really, really insightful.
That was pretty good. I think you could do that post-match, man of the match, please.
It is. The Pioneers is a step up from this. So what they're going to get here is you get your own private entrance. So you, again, the standard fans will queue up from 1 o'clock when the stadium opens. We won't. We'll get there anytime.
We'll park in our exclusive parking space.
In our exclusive named parking space.
Yeah.
We'll go in the director's entrance along with, we'll be walking in with the directors, the players, the manager, the staff. We are hobnobbing with VIPs here, well above our station. We'll get champagne on arrival. We get best seats in the house, all padded seats. We are sat in the former director's box. We're going to get a la carte dining, views of the pitch. Absolutely everything has been put into this, with it being an experience. Cost of delivering that? It's a seat. All right, yes, they can charge more for that because of the positioning, because they're going to sell those seats to people who feel that they should pay more for that seat because that's the sort of person they are. And that's the way they've created this Pioneers thing, is to create that experience that is congruent with a particular type of Argyle fan. And they're limiting this to 102 sales. So again, they're not looking at selling to 20,000 people. What they're looking to do is actually just sell to those 102 people who are congruent with it. So 102 Pioneers is basically 200 grand a year in revenue for Plymouth Argyle. Now to get that same revenue by doing what proper football clubs do and just selling fans tickets, that's 9,000 match tickets they need to sell in order to get the same revenue. So 102 Pioneer tickets or 9,000 match day tickets, which is actually easier to get. And which can you spend more getting and which can you spend more keeping? If a match day ticket is 20 to 23 quid, how much can you spend to get that £23 person in the door? And how much can you spend on that person to get them back next week spending another £23? Versus the guy who's spending £2,000 a year, how much can you afford to spend getting that guy? And how much can you afford to spend lavishing him with champagne and not caviar, but this is Plymouth. It's luxury pasties probably. Well, that's the next tier down. So it's that old thing of, well, could you afford to double your prices if it meant losing half your customers? Therefore, meaning you could spend more getting better quality customers, more time servicing those customers, less stress on yourself I've seen companies do it. I've seen companies double their prices and they have lost 25%, 30% of their customers. So their overall gross profit has gone up whilst the amount of work they've actually had to do has gone down. And it's time and time again. The reason for that, nobody buys on price. I think if you take nothing else from this masterclass, this is the key takeaway. Nobody buys on price. Would you buy the cheapest travel insurance policy if you thought that there was no way they were going to pay out? You wouldn't trust them. Would you buy the cheapest mobile phone contract if the phone didn't work or you couldn't get a signal?
There's no signal anywhere yet.
You know, price is one factor. For some people, it's their biggest factor. You know, my father-in-law, for him, price is the biggest factor. You know, if we're going out for a meal, he will always choose Wetherspoons. And if we're going out for coffee, it's Wetherspoons is £1.75 for coffee. But he will then follow that.
It's cheaper than that. And it's all you can drink during the day.
But he's now, he will clarify that and say, well, actually, but it's good coffee. So price, even for him, price isn't the only factor. He would not go to Wetherspoons if he hated the coffee.
And drink Sarah's coffee.
Yeah. No, he would say, well, stay at home, it's a lot cheaper. But for some people, price is the biggest factor. And that's possibly not the kind of target audience you want to go for anyway. But even if it is, it's not going to be their only factor. We're the cheapest carpet fitters in Plymouth. That's great. Are you actually going to do a decent job? Or are you just going to like carpet 3/4 of my room? And say, oh, sorry, mate, it didn't fit. So I've got
I knew I should have done it the other way.
I've got something that's a
good
different
off
now. I wish for landscape versus portrait. Never know, yeah. For other people, though, it's hardly a factor. It's price is the last thing on their mind. They want to know. They want the time. They want the experience. They want the quality. They want the value. And for some people, they actually want the most expensive. You know, again, it's that congruent with the person. If they feel that I'm the sort of person that has the best of everything, then offer me a £3,000 option because I'll take that one because I want the best of everything.
Mm-hmm. To be fair, we took that option thinking it was 4, so there we are. We did it. Pioneers.
So if you want an example that, and I want to reinforce this point, nobody buys on price. Yep. That is a $1,500 paperclip. Now, if you are a bit of a cheapskate, you can opt for the $165 version.
With engraving.
With engraving.
How do you engrave the paperclip?
Oh, dear. But yeah, there's a perfect example that, you know, this is not, if price is the biggest factor when it comes to you buying your paperclips, you go to Staples or you buy on Amazon for whoever the cheapest is because paperclips are paperclips.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are the type of person who I need the best of everything, I've got an 18-karat gold paperclip that I use for my papers. It's very good. $1,500. Amazing. Oh dear. There is always somebody who will do it cheaper. And if you can remove price from the equation, then price will not be an issue. So ways you can do that is by building the relationship with people. We've had people before, both in the 1% Club and personally who we've worked with our businesses, who I would say, do you know what, I want to work with you. So the price doesn't matter. It's you seem to be the expert in your field. You are the go-to person for X. I want to work with you. Let's do it. Let's do it. What can you do? Right, great. And then finally we'll say, okay, I haven't asked you this, but how much is it? It is almost an afterthought. Mm-hmm. Social proof. I see that others also enjoy working with you and also have success. Reviews. I can see that the product works. Again, that people haven't gone wrong. People don't object to paying more. People hate to think that they're going to make a mistake. Mm-hmm. And the more you can prove to them that they're not going to make a mistake, the more you can charge. And the flip side of that is often the more you charge, the more people perceive that it's a better quality product, even if it's not. I really hope that $1,500 paperclip is good. Go the gold bends. I'm not sure. Guarantee. Can you put a guarantee in place so that I'm not taking any risk by trying it? Can you display that you've worked with big brands before, people that I already trust, your trusted partners? Because if I can see that people I trust also trust you, happy days. Trust is a big issue when it comes to price, because people don't want to make a mistake. And if I trust you, and I can see that others trust you, other people trust you, other brands that I trust you, not likely I'm going to make a mistake. This is going to be a good decision. Can you put case studies out there? Can you demonstrate that other people like me have also had success with you? Have you been written about in the press? So have you done some PR work? Because I trust the media. Of course I do, implicitly. The media would never lie to me. I was
going to say, it's not really a good thing to be.
But in general, if you've been featured in the press, well, I believe, and I don't, because I've worked for a PR agency before who I know just made stuff up. But I believe that the media do some due diligence here and don't just print stuff to fill column inches. So I believe if they've written about you, then they've done a bit of research and they actually do believe that you are good and they do believe that you say what you're going to do. And they trust you.
They're putting their name to you.
It is an endorsement, isn't it?
That's pretty much what it is.
So let's talk about a little bit of price anchoring. We saw an example of this back here. So all of a sudden, do you know what? That $165 paperclip, that looks pretty reasonable, because I'm shouting about the $1,500 paperclip. I'm not even blinking at the $165 version. If I really wanted the $1,500 one, but I couldn't afford it, I'd buy the $165 and say, I've got a $165 paperclip. But all of a sudden, putting that $1,500 point there enables me to anchor my thinking towards the higher end. If they had a $1,500 one and a one that's 2p at Staples, well, they're too far apart. This I love. This is a really good example of price anchoring. So this is a piece of software. If you glance at this screen, you think they've got 3 different levels. And those different levels are $24 a month, $49 a month, $99 a month. Now, in my mind, the $99 a month option only exists to make the $49 a month one look more attractive. Some people will still buy that $99 a month package, but if
power users,
if they only had the 24 and the 49, well, there's that one, and there's one that's twice the price. Oh, I don't know which one to go for. All of a sudden, 24, 49, and 99, all of a sudden that 49 doesn't seem as expensive, because there's a more expensive option that you're not going to take. Now, I absolutely love the little design clues here that say to me, I want you to take the $49 a month section. So $24 a month is the basic section, is the basic plan. The Plus plan, by contrast, is our most popular plan. You notice the box it's in is actually larger,
page, doesn't it?
You've got a larger choose plan button.
It feels like it's off the page.
You've got
3D, isn't it?
Yeah, because you've got that big blue thing.
Yeah.
What's the first thing you notice? 30-day trial, free trial, normal account, plus £49 a month choose plan. That's what I see. And I glance to the left, I glance to the right. Also notice the more expensive one is on the left. So the price goes down. So you read, most people read from left to right. So you start with the most expensive one. Oh my God, £99 a month. Boom, you're anchored. $99 a month is the first thing you do. I didn't think I'd be bringing him into this conversation, but Donald Trump, this is exactly what he does in any negotiation. He will go in and say, I want $5 trillion. I go, whoa, $5 trillion? No chance. No chance, mate. You can have 700 billion. You go, oh, all right then. knowing full well that what he actually wanted was 700 billion, was 50. He will go out with a completely unrealistic, he will anchor your thinking towards, well, we're going to have a negotiation here. My price is $1 trillion. You didn't see the evil thing I was doing there. But it does, it anchors your thinking. That's exactly what they've done here. The 30-day free trial on all accounts, the little red text is underneath the plus section.
And only on that one?
It is, and it's only on that one. So maybe you're thinking, oh yeah, I don't get the 30-day free trial on the other one. Just subtly, everything says, this is the one for you. Unless, of course, you're the type of person that needs the best of everything, in which case, go for the premium, because you are a premium person.
Or you may be basic. And you don't want that one.
Now, the other thing I really like about this is, as I said, first glance at this, you look at it and say, there's 3 options, one of which is the obvious choice. However, down at the bottom, we also offer a free plan and a solo plan. So they've actually got 5 plans. But the minute they put their free option and their $29 a month options on the main screen, all of a sudden it's, do I go for the 99, the 49, the 29, the 24, or the free? I don't know.
Make a mistake, aren't I?
I'm going to make a mistake. I know what I'll do. I'll make no decision. Click the back button, off you go. Too many choices, people end up choosing none of them. This I was trying to think what the screen was. Please pay in advance. That's the one. So we do it all the time, and the more you pay in advance, the more you end up spending. So Amazon Prime's a prime example of this, whereby you pay your £79 a year up front, and then you go, well, I'll buy it because it's on Prime, and it'll be here tomorrow. And I just buy it. And they absolutely know that people who are Prime members shop more often, and they spend more money with them because they've already paid. And by the time that, I think I've just renewed my Amazon Prime now. But by the time you paid it, you've forgotten that you've paid it. And this will be exactly the same with the Plymouth Pavilions, whereby we've paid up front for something like 16 tickets a year. And then all of a sudden, we're just, I'll have 2 tickets for that. Now, there's gigs and stuff we've been to that if we actually had to get our credit card out at that time and pay for it, we wouldn't have gone to the gig. Because we prepaid, you're not really spending real money. You're spending money that you spent 6 months ago or 3 months ago. And I think this will be the same with Plymouth Argyle. We've paid up front for the next season and a half for this Pioneers package. So what happens when we get there is all of a sudden you're not spending any money at all for nearly 2 years, and they're giving you free drink and they're giving you free food. And, brilliant. Well, let's pop in the shop, shall we? Let's see what else we can buy.
I did it with Merlin. We did the Merlin, or you can do pass with all the Alton Towers and all that kind of stuff, things in London. But actually, we would possibly have gone to a theme park that year, but that year we actually went to kind of all 8 or 9 theme parks all over the country kind of thing. But because we'd already paid for the ticket, before the ticket, the car park was included. Actually, when you got there, it's kind of like, we can eat out because actually that's not too bad. We haven't spent anything. We've got 20% discount on the overly priced restaurants and stuff. So actually, that's us. It is our duty to do that, but it actually doesn't feel like we're costing anymore because we haven't paid for it. We haven't paid to get in. It's now free. So actually, you absolutely do get that kind of thing in your head. That actually, it doesn't matter because it's only costing us a little bit.
Another great one. I don't use it anymore. You do. I used to Naked Wines. Pay £20 a month in advance.
Yep.
And then every so often you'll just buy a crate of wine, which you otherwise wouldn't buy, or you certainly wouldn't buy as frequently. But all of a sudden, it's not real money I'm spending. It's given me 80 quid. It's 80 quid of your money that's been dripping in for 4 months, but you've forgotten that you paid that. And it's a fantastic way to get more money out of people. Payment plans is another way, making it easy for people to give you money. So the DFS sale obviously gives you 4 years interest free, and there's 0% finance for easy payments of just £297. Just £10 deposit. Buy now, pay later. Anything you can do that makes it easy for people to get over that first line and start spending money with you. It's almost like a tripwire whereby you just say, well, I've taken some money off you. And I'll deliver the product later on down the line, or you can have the product and you're going to pay me on the DFS sofa. You're going to be paying for this for the next 4 years. But the main thing is you get people over the line. Something I've seen working quite well, Nike obviously have had a little bit of problem with it, Nike by the way, is celebrity endorsements. They have been proven, and there's a reason. Nike, there's 3 bad examples here, but Nike, how many celebrity endorsements have Nike had over the last 30, 40 years? I would say it's in the thousands. If you are a successful sportsman, a sportswoman even, in any way, shape or form, in any sport, Nike will probably come and dangle some money your way. The reason being that it's proven to increase conversion rates, it's proven to increase spend. So I was looking at the Marco Pierre White restaurant here in Plymouth. It's been open 3 years now. Mm-hmm. Now, Marco has been to the Plymouth restaurant once. I would imagine he was wearing, for some reason, he was wearing this hat that was made of fox skin or something. Apparently, they said to him, we're going to Plymouth, and someone said to him, wear the fox hat.
Shall we move on?
We'll move on, yes. So he's been once, but the point beyond that being, he stuck his name on a restaurant, gave them some recipes, told them where to buy their meat, and they can charge £32 for an 8-ounce fillet steak. Just around the corner from Marco Pierre White's in Plymouth, there is a dedicated steakhouse. That's what they do. They do really, really good steak. Their 8-ounce fillet is $18.95. It's nearly half the price. Now, the quality of the steak between the two, it's not going to be worlds apart, because I would hazard a guess that actually the dedicated steakhouse, probably sourcing it locally, they've been sourcing from that same butcher or that same farmer for years and years and years. They know good steak. But because they haven't got Marco Pierre White all over it, bear in mind, he's only been to the restaurant once, they don't feel that they can charge more. They probably could. Again, the reason this works is it breeds familiarity, but it also breeds trust. Okay, so let's look at premium pricing. And here's a perfect example from Centre Park. See if you can spot when half term might be. Any ideas?
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, brilliant, isn't
Could it be?
This is something that really, really irritates me as a lifestyle entrepreneur and parent of 2 young children, and married to a teacher as well. So I've been having this even before we had children. But this is the old supply and demand thing. More people want to go away to Centre Parks or to Benidorm or to Orlando in the second week in February than they do in the second week in March. Why is that? Because the schools are on a holiday. The demand goes up, supply is constant, therefore pricing gets upwards. Of course, Centre Parks are going to charge more for half term because they can. The cost of fulfilling it has got nothing to do with the customers. What Centre Parks is a business, is their job to maximise revenues. If people are willing to pay 133% more for that week, and they will sell it, why wouldn't they? As a parent, I hate it because I've obviously got to pay that. I want to go on holiday with my children. I do think it's a broken system that we should be looking at dealing with, but this is capitalism, and these companies exist to make a profit, and that's all they're doing.
I booked to go Brittany Ferries, this will be. I'll pick on them. I booked our room on the ferry, and then friends are coming with us, booked right after me, because I've just booked it, so we went straight on, and they had to pay another £70 because they sold my room. The price had gone up. The price had gone up because they sold one more room. It's just like, that is one huge difference. And actually, you can keep going in there, and it's like watching the price go up, and it's bizarre. But sorry, go on. But I mean, that's supply and demand.
Can you put this into your business where you have times a day, particular products, particular levels that are more popular than others? Can you have peak versus off-peak pricing? So, let's say they do private banking or dentistry or whatever. Well, actually, everybody wants their appointments before the working day, during lunchtime, or the after work day. But those are your peak times. Could you charge an extra £10 per person during those times? Whereas when you're sat there twiddling your thumbs at 10:30 in the morning, that's our standard pricing model. Mm-hmm. Uber do this, particularly busy times. They'll charge more. Taxis used to do it New Year's Eve, double rates or whatever. It's just, well, it's busier. We can charge more. Can you offer a quicker turnaround, faster delivery? Amazon Prime, guaranteed next day delivery. Since so many, you order anything online now, and it's, do you want it standard delivery? Do you want it next day? Do you want it before 1 o'clock next day? Do you want it on a Saturday? Because all that is premium stuff which delivers convenience. Now, the cost of you hiring a courier to work on a Saturday is no different to it on a Friday, but you can justify charging more for it. And the biggest upsell of them all, do you want fries with that? I mean, this single...
Do you want to go large?
This single question is one of the biggest drivers of revenue for McDonald's. And I don't know if it was Ray Kroc that came up with the idea, but it's phenomenal. I mean, how much are fries? I've no idea. £2 is it for fries?
99p at McDonald's.
Right?
On the save menu thing.
But what does it actually cost them to chuck some fries in a cardboard tub? Is it 7p?
That'd be much more than
8p. Mm. So it's almost all margin. So if you're going in there and you're buying a burger, well, they've already paid the staff, they've already paid the electric, but you've already become a customer. So you've gone over the tripwire and bought the burger. So let's just increase the order value. Once you've got a customer, let's increase the order value. Do you want fries with that? Oh, go on then, it's only an extra 99p. Even if it's 99p and it costs 7p to do, well, that's 92p, Okay, so dog stopped play there for a moment. And Amazon Prime delivery. This is all margin when McDonald's do this. So they're charging 99p for an upsell, someone who's already a customer, which just secures an extra 92p profit straight to the bottom line on every single one that they can put on this.
We had it too, didn't we? We went to Marco Pierre White, bringing him back into the conversation, wasn't it? And it was kind of like, actually, he tackled loads of things there. It's like, have you tried our side of cabbage? Have you tried our leaf of cabbage for £4? Have you tried this? I guarantee that you're going to love it. If you don't, I'll pay for it myself. He said, but you're going to love it. Have you tried it? And so we cut out all of our, kind of thoughts. Actually, why would we even thought about having cabbage? Yeah. But we thought, I love cabbage because that's going to be. He's recommended it. He said he's put his name on it, sort of thing. Yeah. Guaranteed that it's going to be lovely.
At no point did we go, how much is it?
No.
We just went, oh, God, I trust you. And it was that trust element. I trust this guy because he seems to know what he's talking about when it comes to cabbage.
Yeah. So you pay £4 for some cabbage.
Yeah. Can you, is there something in your business that you can go large, upsell, cross-sell? Do you want the side with that? Do you want cabbage with that? Do you want next day delivery? Or is there a different product you can sell? So the 360 mortgages that we're part of, they offer life insurance and they offer buildings and contents insurance. Once a customer has become a customer, so right, we sorted your mortgage out, well, you're going to need to cover that mortgage. If you die, you still have to pay it. So should we talk about life insurance? Let's make sure you're covered, shall we? Mm-hmm. And just doing that brings extra margin in for that business, which doesn't appear if they don't ask the question. And it's a simple upsell. It is there. Do you want fries with that question? So let's talk about how to do it, or specifically to start with, how not to put your prices up. And we've obviously been on the wrong end of this several times with different companies over the years. One of the things that really annoys me is when people make loads of excuses for having to put the price. I'm really sorry that I'm having to put my price up. We haven't put our prices up for years. So you're going to bear the brunt of that now. It's basically what you're saying. Our costs have gone up. I don't care about your costs. I care about the value you give me. It's all because of Brexit. Oh, stop harping on about Brexit. Why is that going to hurt me in my pocket? Because you're blaming Brexit. If you are, this is one of the big people are reticent to put the prices up because they're afraid of losing customers. Well, if you wait several years because you haven't put your prices up for years, and then do a massive price rise because you think, oh, Christ, I need to catch up now. I haven't put my price up. My costs have gone up for years, but I haven't put my price up. Well, let's put my prices up. You're going to lose customers. And we've had that in our businesses recently where we've had suppliers come to us and say, we haven't put our prices up for several years, or we think we're now more valuable than we were, and we're putting our prices up immediately 25%, and another one was 33%. And which one we've gone, don't think so. True buy, because the relationship wasn't there, the trust wasn't there, and they've damaged the relationship by putting prices up in the wrong way. So let's look at how to do it the right way. This is how to put it up. So first of all, no excuses. I don't want to know that your costs have gone up, or it's all because of Brexit, or that you've given your staff a pay rise. I couldn't care less. Let's be factual about it. Prices are going up, but prices are going up from X date. And X date is well into the future. Ideally, if you can split it over a calendar year, people always think that sounds further away. So if you've got your prices going up from the 1st of February 2020, even if it's now the end of October or November 2019, you're still sat there going, it's ages away. Mm. Whereas if you say we're putting them up in 3 months' time, it's not so good. But the key thing is not to try and sneak your prices up. You don't hide the fact you're putting your prices up. You don't make excuses for the fact you're putting your prices up. What you do have is a long lead time between notifying that prices will be going up and actually putting them up. So prices are going up in 3 months' time or in 6 months' time. It's the opposite of a direct response deadline. So if you're doing a marketing campaign and you want someone to take action or to buy something, give them a nice short deadline. You've got to do this before 5 p.m. next Friday. If you want someone to not take action, i.e. cancel a subscription, leave your service, stop working with you, give them a nice long deadline that's well in the future. Remember what we said about earlier, if you spend money 3 months ago, you've forgotten that you spent it. Mm-hmm. If I tell you that the prices are going up in 3 months' time, by the time 3 months come around, you've had 3 months to accept that. You knew it was coming. And yet some people will leave, but the majority of people will go, yeah, I knew it was coming. Prices go up. That's the way inflation works. And it's far enough away that it's not front of mind. If I say prices are going up next week, you go, okay.
Better go see who else to buy from.
So I need to shop around, and I probably need to cancel now, then, don't I? It could be the same if you say prices are going up in a month's time. Oh, my cancellation period is 1 month according to the contract. Oh, I better do that now, and haven't I?
Thanks for telling me that we're going to cancel.
Whereas actually, and if you do this every year, put them up a little bit every year, then you create the expectation that prices just go up a little bit every year, not astronomically, not 25%, not 33%, but they go up a little bit. And if you can inch them up a little bit every year, and I like to call it, this is my 2019 price. This is my 2020 price. It creates an expectation that you'll pay this price this year, and next year you're going to pay more.
And if they think they should be paying more because things have gone up and the prices, and they know what's going on around them, if they automatically think that, then they're comfortable with the price rise, and well, that's not going to become a problem. It'll only become a problem if they think, that's out of order.
Yes.
Hence the 25% or the 33% increase was like, that's out of order.
It creates that expectation. The prices go up a little bit every year, but that's months away. I don't need to think or worry about that right now. Every year I get a text from 3, which I think is sent in December or January, and it just says from the 4th of April, prices are going up by 70p. Mm-hmm. And I go, okay. If that ever becomes an issue, I'll look at it. But it's going up 70p a month sometime next year. I'll worry about that then.
Across the 3.5 million customers.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty
And all that drops to the bottom line.
£2.5 million.
I don't care what the cost of them providing that service is.
Yeah.
You can always use an upcoming price rise to convert more people now. You can make more sales now by saying, hey, we're putting our prices up on the 1st of September. But if you join before the 1st of May, we'll lock in that 2019 price all the way through to September 2020. So instantly you're giving people a direct response deadline to take action now, join, but you're also creating the culture, the expectation that you're going to pay the 2019 price and you're going to pay it right through to 2020, which everyone else won't, because they'll be paying the 2020 price, which is going to be higher. People know to expect that September 2020 prices are going to go up. Mm-hmm. And then they're going to go up every year. You're going to pay the 2021 price. So that is how to put your prices up. What happens then if you don't put your prices up? So this assumes that every year you get roughly a 10% rise in costs every year. Your rent goes up every little bit, your electricity, your business rates, give your staff some pay rises, pay more for your envelopes. Brexit happens. Oh no, I said the B word again.
That's how this goes out. It already happened.
It's all sorted. We keep saying that every video. So it's sorted by the time this goes out. Then you may think that 10% rise in costs, oh, well, no, inflation's only like 2.3%. Yeah, rubbish. When was the last time, I think I had my council tax bill in the other day, 14% was the average rise. Prices are going up, and they are going up by about 10%. If you don't put your prices up, and this basically tracks this for 4 years. So we're starting now in 2019. This tracks it through 4 years' time to 2023. If your costs go up 10% every year, and you keep your price the same, then all of a sudden your profit, the amount of money you're actually making per sale, drops massively from 70 quid on a £100 product to £56 on that same £100 product, just 4 years later. And all that is your costs inching up 10%. Of course, your customers don't care about your costs. So they don't care that you're making £56 rather than £70 because that's not a priority for them. So what happens if you do put your prices up? And again, let's inch them up at the same rate, 10% per year. What this does here is this protects your gross profit margin. So your margin as a percentage stays the same. So you first year, again, £100, costs you £30 to produce, deliver, make that product or service, £70 profit. 2 years later, you're charging £21 more for that product. Your costs have gone up, 10% per year again, £36, but you're now making more money. You're making £85 profit. And by the time the 4 years are up, your profit is up to £102 per unit, and you've swallowed those extra costs and actually making more money. Now, what you could do is actually cap your price rises to your actual costs. So, well, actually, between 2019 and 2020, my costs go up £3, so I'm going to go from 100 quid to 103 quid, thus maintaining your £70 profit per unit every year. Happy days. 2023, you're still making 70 quid. 2050, you're still making 70 quid. You might be able to get a loaf of bread with that rate of inflation. If you always make 70 quid and your profit numbers stay the same every year, your buying power of that £70 will be going down by the rate of inflation. If you take the numbers out of it, ignore the fact it's 70 quid, how many Freddos is that? If it can buy you less Freddos than it could buy you 5 years ago, then you need to put your prices up. We should on this whole thing in Freddos, really, shouldn't we?
I think Freddos is a good thing to measure.
I'm going to leave you with the words of wisdom from the Oracle of Omaha, which actually, these are not his words. So this is Warren Buffett's key thing about pricing, but this comes from his mentor, Benjamin Graham. Price is what you pay, value is what you get. And again, that's true for your customers and it's true for you. Price is just the number of pounds, dollars, Freddos, shilling, Freddos that you part with. Value is what you get for your money. And that is what people really care about, is what do I get for my money? So I hope you've enjoyed this masterclass, guys. As always, do leave your comments and thoughts on the Facebook thread. We'll be dropping this out, obviously, in the 1% way. So hit reply to the email if you've got any questions around pricing. I would love to see some examples of any of you guys that feel you want to put your prices up, whether you want to send out a letter letting people know how that's going to happen, or whether you want to put some tiered structures in place, different platforms, different service levels, or whether you can put in place some of these upsells. What is do you want fries with that question, that when you ask it in your business, you upsell more customers and make more margin? So I hope you found that useful, guys, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.